Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled, "It's Not That I Can't Find a Man to Love Me, I Can't Find a Man I Love." And guys, this article, which is obviously written by a woman, is basically her going on a rant and complaining and all that basically women like her, strong women, can't find a guy to love because basically, no surprise, there are no good men out there, right? Out of the 8 billion people on the planet, and approximately half are men and half are women, there are no good men, which we all know is a big bunch of nonsense, okay? But what's really going on here, guys, is that as I go through this article, you're going to see really quick the reason this woman can't get a guy, the reason that no guy obviously wants her and there's no good men in her view, is because she has a completely rotten attitude. That's why, a rotten personality. And you're going to see as I go on here, her ego and her sense of entitlement is through the roof. I mean, I read articles and stories like this all the time, guys. I read probably 10 a day and narrow down what I think are the best ones to do videos on. Not to mention the women I encounter in life and, you know, just the stories I hear. And I got to tell you, this article here, which he's ranting and raving about, is definitely one of the worst I've heard in a while, okay? But the sad thing is, that's how things are in today's world. You're getting more and more of this. And you guys out there that date and do relationships, or even you guys just deal with women like this in the workforce or your own families or whatever, this is what you see. And it's unbelievable, this sense of entitlement. But as I go through this, guys, what really occurred to me, it didn't take long, is that the reason this woman is going on a psychotic rant about this and just trashing men and there's no good men out there and blah, 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 and all these things that men supposedly expect of women that strong women shouldn't have to do, the reason that she's alone is because of her personality, because of who she is, okay? Her attitude is turning guys off. She could be the best looking girl on the planet, but if she has just this horrible, rotten attitude, no one's going to want to be around her, at least not very long. And so it's easier to basically have giant laundry lists of things to make up the perfect guy or to trash guys and say there's no good ones out there than to actually own up to the fact that there's something wrong with her. It's easier to trash guys, but we all know the jokes about the whole accountability thing. So I'm going to go through this, guys. You're going to see what I'm talking about here, and let's see how long it takes you to pick these things out as well. Starts off, she must be alone because something's wrong with her. There's a fallacy women need to attract men. They need the perfect skirt, tempting lipstick, and good blowout. They need to be poised and intelligent, alluring and girlish. They need to be funny and witty, but not overly obnoxious. It's the woman who needs to fit the mold of a man's dream girl. It's the woman who must capture the love of a man. Well, let me ask you, how else is a woman going to attract a man, get a man's attention, get him from meeting him to actually get him into the relationship that absolutely, by and large, all women want? How's that going to happen? You going to do it a mail order husband? You're going to FedEx him over? Otherwise, guess what? You got to do these things. You got to make yourself feminine, okay? You got to, for these very strong women or these masculine women, which she is, that means you need to take the ball cap off and get your hair done. That means you need to take the Nike sneakers off and get a pair of heels or some feminine footwear. You need to take the jeans off, well, the loose mom jeans off, and put on a skirt. Taking care of yourself, making yourself look physically attractive, pretty. If you don't like that, okay, that's your business. You can butcher yourself up, but guess what? Good luck attracting a man. And don't complain about it if no guy wants to touch you, okay? You may get some feminine guys that like you, but the odds are women like this don't like the feminine guys, okay? But they're the only ones they can attract because feminine guys tend to be attracted to masculine women. But again, see how the blame, being pissed off that women, in her view, have to do these things to attract a man? It tells you what kind of woman is writing this article. It continues. Fortunately, this isn't how it works, at least not for all the strong women I know. There you go. By contrast, women who love themselves aren't looking to attain a certain standard or to fit a specific mold. They aren't dressing up their sexuality and dressing down their thoughts. So in other words, the women that she knows, they're all alone and bitter and bitching about it because guys don't want them the way they are. Okay? It'd be like a bunch of guys complaining, a bunch of guys that don't have a job or working minimum wage at Taco Bell or KFC or whatever, and sitting around bitching that that women don't want them and they shouldn't have to do anything. Meanwhile, guess what? You're working minimum wage or you don't have a job, so good luck attracting women. It is what it is. There are things that attract women and there are things that attract men. You got to deal with it. Accept that's just how it is, okay? And she doesn't like it. So she has a rotten attitude, and it's easier just to blame guys instead of just say, I need to do these things, obviously, to attract the dude. Continues. They know who they are, and unfortunately for all those men out there looking for a susceptible piece of clay to mold in their calloused hands, they already love themselves. Well, I can tell you right now that women like this do not love themselves. They're angry and bitter and unhappy. They don't love themselves. Of course, they're going to tell you they love themselves, and they love themselves so much they wouldn't tolerate a guy that would have them obviously comb their hair and dress up and be girly and all that. And no. Bullshit. They don't love themselves. A man who interests and allures them. I skipped something. The problem, though, is they can't seem to find a man they're ready to love. A man who fits their standards and their ideas of a perfect partner. So here we go. This is why they're alone, because of a guy, the 4 billion guys on the planet can't meet their standards. A man who interests and allures them. A man they find worthy of their time and attention. This is the new dilemma, the plight of the single woman. It's no longer her problem, but his problem. No longer are women single because something is wrong with them. No longer do women feel alone because they're undesirable or unattractive. Women are alone because no one else is good enough. What I tell you, it's not their fault that they're not attractive enough. It's not their fault for all these things. It's the guy's fault. Look, if you aren't where you are in life, where you want to be, there's only one person to blame. It's the person that you look in the mirror every morning when you get up in the morning, and the person you see when you're brushing your teeth before you go to bed. It's that person's fault. So if you want something better in your life, man or woman, you got to take action to make it happen. Not blaming everybody else for the shortcomings you have in life or what you don't have. But this woman is leading the charge with all her strong woman friends that it's the guy's fault that they're alone. And throughout the article, guys, there's going to be different quotes from this woman. And here's one of them. It says, I'm not worried about impressing you. I'm worried about you impressing me. She goes on, I don't just know myself, I love myself. I'm at the point in my life where I no longer second guess every move and every thought. I've taken the time to find out who I am and what I believe. Now, if I only could find a man with the same self-awareness. I got news for you, lady. There are plenty of guys out there that are just like this. They know who they are, they know who they want, they love themselves, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I'm only finding boys with about as much character and depth as the hero of their favorite action movie. I need a man who isn't in the middle of an identity crisis. A man who has a sense of worth without being an arrogant asshole. Well, guess what? There are plenty of guys out there that maybe they were that way when they were younger, kind of finding out who they are in their teens, maybe 20s. But by and large, by the time guys get to be 30 years old, a lot of them, and more nowadays, are getting their shit together. So don't tell me. I mean, who are the guys that she's... What is the pool of guys that she is looking for the right guy? Where does she go to find these guys? If she's searching amongst a bunch of guys that are in college, yeah. But if she's actually looking for men, actual men that are obviously in the workforce, have their shit together, what the hell is she talking about here? She goes on, a man who isn't going to just mimic my actions or bail because he can't handle a woman who has more strength of character than he does. As of now, this man does not exist. Strength of character, again, back to the strong woman thing. Look, the reason men, and I've said this so many times in other videos before, and women don't get this, the reason men aren't attracted to these quote-unquote strong women is because these so-called strong women are very masculine. They're very much in touch with their masculine side. And they have all these masculine personality traits. And masculine men are not attracted to masculine women. It's like having two dudes in a relationship, okay? They don't want that. They want a feminine woman, okay? Now, the only type of guy that would be attracted to a strong masculine woman is a feminine guy. And if you don't believe me, guys, just look around at couples that you know in your family, friends, co-workers, you name it, or just go out in public and look around. If you notice, you could pick out a really masculine guy. If he's with his woman, she's usually very feminine. On the other side, if you notice a woman that's very masculine, you can tell by her physical features, how she dresses, her body language, her tone of voice, all these things. Typically, the guy she's with is a more feminine guy, okay? That's usually how it goes. Then you get some people who are kind of in the middle, you know, but you got to have that polarity. So she's upset that a guy can't handle her. You know, she's obviously very masculine, and no masculine man who's remotely masculine is going to be attracted to that. It's going to be a complete and total turnoff. But again, it's easier to blame guys. And so think about it. So the guys that she obviously attracts, the ones she says are going through identity crises, or boys, are obviously more feminine, weaker guys. And those type of guys are going to be attracted to the stronger women. So they're going to be attracted to her probably. So those are the types that she thinks that she obviously can attract. And she's saying, basically, I want a guy that obviously has his shit together, but because she's so masculine, and not to mention with her rotten attitude, the only guys she attracts are weak guys. So is any wonder. So lose the attitude, lose the rotten ego and sense of entitlement and personality, and she might find herself maybe, just maybe, not attracting the weakest guys. She's still going to attract weak guys because she's so goddamn masculine. But this is what's going on, guys. Goes on. Another quote from her. I'm not worried about my views. I'm worried about yours. She goes on, I know who I am and what I'm all about. You, however, I'm not so sure. I know what I stand for and what I believe. I have my ardent opinions and my unwavering views. She sounds like a lot of fun. Ardent opinions and unwavering views. I can just picture her right now, what she's like to be around. I know women like this, and when I encounter them, because you can't help sometimes people you encounter in life or whatever. I want to run the hell away from them as fast as I can. They are a giant headache, giant pain in the ass. I'm not looking for someone with the same ones, but someone whose views I can respect and learn from. I don't want a man who can't hold a conversation with me. I don't want a man who doesn't have opinions on death, love, and global warming. Of course, you had to put the global warming in there. I want a man who challenge and ignite passion and a fire in my soul. Someone who's dedicated and inspired. Another quote of hers says, I'm not worried about my baggage, I'm worried about yours. Believe me, this gal has a lot of baggage. I have my shit under control. I have my baggage, like everyone else, but I can carry mine. I'm strong enough to bring it around without letting it weigh me down. I'm not pulling it 5 miles behind me, tripping over it and refusing to admit it's sitting right there. I need a man who doesn't come with 20 pounds of shit. A man who isn't going to be thinking about his wounds and his losses. I need a man who is present, a man who learns from his past, not just drags it along. So again, the guys she's describing here, which obviously are the ones that she encounters, are weak men. And again, the weak men tend to be feminine, and they're attracted to masculine women. These are the types that she's obviously attracting. So in the beginning of the article, when she says that, basically, let me just read the article headline again. It says, it's not that I can't find a man to love me, I can't find a man to love. The guys that obviously are in there are the obviously more feminine, more weak guys. And these guys usually have a lot of baggage. They're usually more irresponsible, childish, and they need a woman like her, a strong woman, to basically help them get their shit together. I know guys like this that have to have a woman that pretty much tells them what the hell to do. They're weak guys. They may be good guys, but they're weak guys. And the only ones they can handle, they want a mommy basically to tell them what to do. And this woman obviously doesn't want to be the mommy. But because she's so masculine, like I said earlier in the video, guys, this is what she attracts. It's obvious here in the article. Goes on. Another quote from her, I'm not worried about being alone. I'm worried about being with the wrong person. I can handle being alone. I like being alone. I'd rather be alone than someone with my standards of the lonely and insecure. I stand on my own, proudly and without fear. I won't enter a relationship just for the sake of it, like those women who don't know what they want, so they settle for what they see. I won't settle for some man just because he's better than no man. I need passion, fire, and the assurance that this relationship is almost as good as the one with myself, and it's a hard standard to meet. Look, guys, I got no problem if people have certain things, certain deal breakers for guys or women that do relationships, everybody's going to have certain deal breakers that they're unwilling to deal with, okay? And some of the best examples are, like, say, if you have someone that their religious faith is very important to them, and they go to church every Sunday, and it's a very big deal to them. Okay. And if they want a woman, say it's a guy, and he wants a woman that's equal in that area, she's religious as well, someone that practices the same religious faith, that's a deal breaker. So that's understandable if that guy would turn down a woman because she wasn't on his level in terms of religious faith. Okay, that's his business. Or the other way around, a very religious woman, and she wants a guy at her level in that area and would turn down a guy that wasn't that way. I get that. But if the guy would turn down a girl because, let's just say, he likes women that are 5'4" and under, and he meets a girl that's 5'5", 5'6", and he kicks her to the curb because of that, even though she's got all these other great qualities, that's just stupid. That's being too picky. Or a woman that wants a guy that's 6 feet tall, and she meets a great guy that's 5'11", but doesn't give him a chance. There are people, both men and women, are that shallow that would do that, okay? That's stupid, being way too picky. So it's okay to have certain standards that you aren't going to break, but when you become ridiculous about it, that's something else. And this woman's obviously ridiculous about a lot of these things, and obviously blaming guys because she's alone, but also it's her rotten personality. It goes on. I'm not worried about my performance, I'm worried about yours. Another quote of hers. I'm not worried about how I'm doing if the night went well. I'm not asking my friends if I did it right or if he thinks I'm not good in bed. I'm tired of wondering if it was good for them. It's always good for them. In other words, sex. What about me? What about my needs? What about making me feel the way I make you feel? I'm looking for a man who doesn't quit when he's finished. I need a man who keeps going because he finds pleasure in mine. A man who doesn't think sex is finished when he's satisfied. So there you go. That's the end of her thing. She's going to finish up with a big S word there. But like I said, guys, this is a perfect example of what we're dealing with in today's world. This sense of entitlement and this giant ego here, okay? It's not my fault. It's everybody else's fault. There are no good men. No. It's her rotten attitude, it's her masculine personality that is turning off good guys, because there's plenty of good guys out there, and obviously the only guys that want her, like I said, are obviously weak guys that are attracted to strong women that can basically tell them what to do, boss them around, and basically be their mommies. And obviously she doesn't want that. And those guys usually have a lot of baggage, they're usually immature, you can't get their shit together, and like I said, I know guys like this, and they're good guys, don't get me wrong, but they're typically were raised in a household where their mom ran the show, had a weak dad, usually had a sister or auntie or female cousins that were all masculine in charge. I've known families and situations like this growing up since I was a kid, and it always carries on to the next generation, you know? So this woman is obviously, if she doesn't have an attitude adjustment, if she doesn't tone it down in terms of the being masculine department, these are the only kind of guys she's going to get, and tough shit. Meanwhile, she's writing these articles and basically trashing all the guys out there, are good guys out there, saying there's no good men out there. That's complete crap, okay? But thanks to feminism that's been molding women to be more masculine and have all these traits, you're seeing more and more of this, okay? And unfortunately, also, thanks to feminism, they're molding guys to be soft and weak and timid and meek and all that. And this is what you have. A complete mess. So, anyhow, guys, I thought this was a good article to do. I haven't seen someone this entitled with this big of an ego in a while now. That was an interesting thing to share. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.